Hello everybody and welcome back to Madden 2005, the Oakland Raiders franchise mode, and we are looking over some scores here in Week 17 because we have some scores that we need to watch in Week 17. I've already went through and simmed the rest of the week so we know the results that we're looking for heading into the Steelers game, whether or not we need to win or lose, and it's because of this game here, the Titans game and the Chiefs game. Now, the Titans don't need to play in this game. They could rest their starters, but it's not real life, so they're just playing, and they ended up beating the Chiefs, sending the Chiefs to 9-7, which means that all we need to do, or should be able to do, is beat the Steelers and make it into the playoffs. Now, the Broncos did manage to beat the Chargers. The Chargers still clinch the AFC West, of course, but the Broncos did manage to win that game, which should give them the 5th seed in the playoffs here. So the only seed that's up for grabs is the 6th seed, which is where we currently sit. Obviously, the standings page is a little weird. We still have the AFC East division winner who's going to take the 4th seed from the Broncos. They will be the 5th seed, which the Chiefs are currently listed at, and then we would fall to the 6th seed, which is technically where the Chiefs are at. Just follow along. Just trust me, okay? Just trust. But because the Chiefs lost that game and fell to 9-7, the only thing that would keep us out of the playoffs is if the Steelers were to beat us today in Oakland, which, it's possible. We have a split series in this tenure here since we took over the Raiders franchise. We have split the series. We've played them both in the last 2 seasons. So we've played the Steelers every year in the first 3 seasons. And in the first season, if you remember, it was the first video, I think, the first game of this entire series, and we managed to beat the Raiders. We managed to beat the Steelers in overtime, in an overtime thriller. It was a back-and-forth game, 37-34, crazy game that we managed to win in overtime. But in the second game last season, it was just a game that we simmed through because of the trade deadline and stuff. We lost 10-20, so it was a rough game last year. We had a lot of highs and lows last year. It was a very, very weird season here. But the Steelers themselves have had more lows than highs. The Steelers have not been on the more cutting edge of competitiveness since we've started this series. They've been pretty rough. And this year they're looking at a potential 5-11 season, at best a 6-10 season. I think last year they only won 7 games too, and that whole mess with that the AFC North was. So they have not been great since we've been doing this series, which is weird because they have a ton of talent. So as you can see, man, regardless of what the ratings on the team overalls are, it's not going to relate to actual success on the field. So, but hopefully we can grab a win here today as Tim Couch already has the Raiders offense moving here with a little bit of purpose, as Brian Lynch, the young pick from year number 1's offseason, gets himself a catcher early in this game. And now Tim Couch on the next play here is going to fire one across the middle of the field, and I believe it's Justin Gage who hauls it in, and it is. That's going to get us inside the 10 as we're already rolling here on the Steelers defense. So 2nd and goal here. Couch back to pass once again. Clean pocket. Releases in the middle of the end zone, and it's going to be Justin Gage once again for another Raiders touchdown, and he just continues on his MVP caliber pace here, for sure earning that Pro Bowl selection, which I know he got. So we will look at Pro Bowlers, don't worry. But we, of course, have the playoffs and offseason and all that stuff to get through. So just, be patient. On a 4th and 6, Leclerc's going to punt this one away, and they cannot field it cleanly. The Steelers cannot field it cleanly. I couldn't tell who was on the punt return. I think it's a backup running back, potentially. It's not Deuce Staley, but either way, unable to field it cleanly, and so that's going to give us the ball here deep in Steeler territory. So now Couch fires one across the middle of the field again. It's going to be Justin Gage once again, and that area of the field with Justin Gage is just, they just have no answer for it. We're just hammering that part of the field. So 3rd and 8, the Steelers defense is showing a little bit of resilience, and Couch is going to get clobbered as he goes to throw, and the ball's going to come out. Justin Fargas heads up play to get on top of it, but he's moving backwards, not forward. So it's still going to bring up 4th down here, but we do retain possession, and we're going to give Janikowski at least an attempt here to nail this 41-yarder and go up potentially 10-0 over Pittsburgh. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So we are going to do that. Thank you, Janikowski, who's had a very up-and-down year this year. It's been a very, very bizarre year with Janikowski this year, but he does nail this one through, so 10-0 is going to be your score after 1 quarter, and we find ourselves in a good position, but we know how quickly these leads can change and flip. So 1st and 10 now across midfield again for the Raiders. Couch back to pass, going to unload this one, and he finds Justin Gage again. And whatever the defensive strategy is for Justin Gage for Pittsburgh, it just needs to change because it's not working. So 1st and 10 again for the Raiders offense. Couch going to pass again. Pump fakes. Gets rid of it to the other side of the field, and now a broken tackle not only getting the first down, but a broken tackle is going to give us even more, as Jerry Porter is going to make the Steelers defense feel a little bit of pain as well. So 1st and goal now inside the 10. Couch back to pass, going to try and throw for it. Those in the back of the end zone, just absolutely zips it there through a very tight window, and Jerry Porter gets the touchdown catch. And now both of our top receivers have a touchdown in this game. Hopefully they're going to have several more in this game. So 17-0 already over Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger back to pass here, and he dumps this one off quickly here. Looks like to the tight end, perhaps Darnell Sanders. Or it's not. It looks like maybe the backup tight end for Pittsburgh. It looks like that's who got it, who maybe got it. So we're going to cut to 2nd and goal here for Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger back to pass. He's got a clean pocket here and unloads it, and absolutely wide open. It's Hines Ward who finds himself all alone in the end zone. And if you're the coaching staff for Oakland, you got to be grabbing your guys with the shoulder pads. How do you let Hines Ward sit that open in the end zone? How? So Pittsburgh finally answers back, and it's now back to only a 10-point game, but we are still moving on offense as effortlessly as we want to, as Jerry Porter gets another reception. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 again, further into Pittsburgh territory, but at the 30. Couch floats one out to the left sideline here, where Justin Gage typically finds himself. But it's actually going to be Justin Fargas out of the backfield who has an athletic play from the running back position to get into the end zone. Very impressive play from Justin Fargas. So 24-7 is the score, but Pittsburgh with plenty of time here before the half is over, and Roethlisberger finds an open target for a 1st down. And so things will continue for Pittsburgh's drive as they get inside the 35 of Oakland, and on 1st and 10. No spike. Roethlisberger's just going to go for it, and he rockets one, and that pass is going to be broken up by Phillip Buchanan, who gets a hand on it. So 34 seconds will remain on the clock, and it's 3rd and 10 for the Steelers as Roethlisberger takes the snap and dumps one off quickly here. A receiver screen. Looks like it might have been Plexico Burris who he tried to hit. Yeah, I think it was Plexico Burris on the receiver screen, and that play goes absolutely nowhere. So as time is expiring, they're going to try and burn the rest of the time for a 53-yard attempt from their kicker. The kick is up, and it is good. Somehow just scrapes by the crossbar as time expires, and Pittsburgh manages to come within 14 at the end of the first half. So still maintaining a double-digit point lead over the Steelers over the first 2 quarters of the game here. And now Justin Fargas is going to help us out here with a burst of speed up the middle of the field, and he's gone into the end zone. No one's even got a prayer to get him. And we haven't seen a ton of these big plays from Justin Fargas, but when they happen, man, when they happen, and I've said that before, but it's just so nice when it happens, man. It's a great thing to see. So 31-10 now the score quickly here in the 3rd quarter. Now, I must make a bit of a note here as Hines Ward nearly gets into the end zone off a pass from not Roethlisberger, but Gus Frerotte. Yes, Gus Frerotte is in the game here. So I edited it out. I didn't realize that Roethlisberger was injured significantly, but he suffered some sort of injury to his head, and he will come back later on in the game, but Gus Frerotte is going to pretty much quarterback the Steelers moving forward for the time being, and he's already got him in the end zone for a score. So 17-31 is the score, but Justin Fargas says, dude, you guys just need to stay dead. You need to stay down. And he's got some defensive legends in Pittsburgh in tow behind him, but they do not have the speed to catch up to Justin Fargas as he continues to have himself a pretty good career year as well. So a huge boost on offense from Fargas on 2 big runs from scrimmage, and now the score is 38-17. But Gus Frerotte and these Steelers will not stay down on the 3rd and long, and that pass is going to be completed along the sideline from Hines Ward. So now the Steelers are beginning to cook something up here with Hines Ward. Perhaps it was a chemistry thing that Gus Frerotte just got figured out with Hines Ward. I don't know. But pressure is getting on to Frerotte immediately, but he gets rid of it quickly, and Plexico Burris is high-stepping before he even gets close to the end zone. He wasn't even inside the 5 yet, and he's already high-stepping, man. Just ridiculous stuff, man. So 1st and goal for the Steelers now at about the 5, and Frerotte here has pressure in his face, gets rid of it, though, in time across the middle of the field, and it's Deuce Staley out of the backfield who's going to catch this touchdown pass. So we haven't seen anything from Staley as far as running the football, but he's able to catch that pass and get into the end zone for another Steelers touchdown. So 24-38, and now Gus Frerotte and the Steelers back on offense here in their own end. But one pass is all it's going to take, and Hines Ward's off to the races now. It's a foot race, and Buchanan slides off of him, but Hart comes from behind and is able to bring him down before he gets into the end zone. So Hines Ward is continuing to torch our secondary here in the second half, and we might have ourselves a problem, a number 86 problem. So as it looks like Gus Frerotte attacks back in that part of the field once again for another completion. And the Steelers offense is beginning to move just a little bit too easy under Farad, man. Just a little bit too easy. And don't be fooled, man. Gus Farad is an 85 overall at this point in the sim. He's an 85 overall. So the Steelers are definitely not without a quarterback, man. They still definitely are doing okay, as Hines Ward gets his second touchdown of the game here, and that's going to bring the Steelers within one possession. But with inches to go, Tim Couch does not want any kind of smoke here. He wants to finish this while he can, and Jerry Porter gets a toe-dragging catch along the sidelines. We're going to look at it, make sure his feet are in, and again, it's going to be a close call here, but yeah, I would say he definitely got it in. Possession's a tricky thing, but I'd say he had it. So 38-31, that plays how the third quarter is going to come to an end, and it's all going to come down to this, man. Is this going to be another huge choke from our defense? Are we going to find a way to win and get into the postseason, man? It all rests on the fourth quarter, man. So Tim Couch floats one out to Justin Gage, we haven't seen since earlier in the game, but he is still here, still doing things, still being productive. Now 2nd and 2 here, we're going to hand this one off to the fullback, Maureen Norris, who falls forward for a first down. We don't need him to do a whole lot. We just need him to at least do that little bit, and he managed to do it. So 1st and goal here for the Raiders. Couch back to pass here, has good protection up front, and he fires this one quickly here to Jerry Porter for another 84 touchdown, man. And he's got a lot. He's got a lot. He's got a ton of them. So 45-31 is the score, and we're back on offense here. The Steelers have to give the ball back, and Couch bomb downfield, and it's Jerry Porter along the sidelines, getting inside the 20 once again with another massive pass to Mr. 84. So 1st and 10 for the Raiders offense here. We can ice this game with some more points, if at all possible. And now Tim Couch fires this one off to, I believe, Chris Cole, who we haven't seen all game. Chris Cole, I mean, he's been very effective in our offense, and we haven't seen much of him in this game. So maybe after the last game, they decided to lock down Chris Cole. I don't know. maybe that was the game plan. But on 3rd and goal, we give it to Fargas, and he can't get in the end zone as he is met immediately by a huge defensive end for Pittsburgh. And so that's going to bring up 4th and goal, and we're going to bring out Janikowski for a chip shot field goal, which he is able to nail through. So 48-31 is now the score, which makes it a 3-possession game against the Steelers. But we still have most of the fourth quarter left to go, and Roethlisberger now back in for the Steelers at quarterback, and he dumps one off quickly here, and now it's a foot race to the end zone with a tight end, and I don't know if he could get it there, and I believe that time it was Darnell Sanders who was in that foot race here, and he couldn't quite get into the end zone, but still a good play for the Steelers tight end inside the 20. So 3rd and 14 for the Steelers. Roethlisberger, quick release across the middle of the field, and somehow that is not a touchdown. I have no idea how it's not a touchdown, but somehow it isn't. So he was tackled short of the line. But now within the inch-yard line here on 3rd and goal here, Roethlisberger to Deuce Staley, and Deuce Staley finally walks it in for the Steelers, and he gets himself his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 1st rushing touchdown of the game, and the Steelers finally answer back. So within 10 now, they need to get this onside kick to even give themselves a chance, and so the kick is off and is bouncing around. We can't get on top of it, and the Steelers do. So the Steelers recover an onside kick here. It's going to be Cedric Wilson, the receiver, who's able to get on top of it, and now the Steelers are back on offense. So, but coming out of the 2-minute warning on a 3rd and inches, Roethlisberger throws it, dumps it off, and it's going to be caught and completed for another 1st down. So now the Steelers are moving with purpose here, as they're under 2 minutes. They got to score quickly here. They're at the 30-yard line. They need 2 possessions, and they haven't even scored in the first one. So Roethlisberger unloads it, passes tipped around, but falls to the grass safely, and that'll at least stop the clock for the Steelers offense and give them time to maybe re-rack the deck a little bit. So 2nd and 10 now. Roethlisberger stands by himself in the backfield here, takes the snap, drops back to pass here, throws it off quickly, and that pass is going to be caught inside the 10. And the Steelers now within striking distance of the end zone, but they're going to have to move quickly once again. Running to the other end of the field is Cedric Wilson after that reception. So on 1st and goal, Roethlisberger sends another shot to the end zone. It's going to be caught for a Steelers touchdown, and it's Hines Ward again getting his 3rd touchdown of the game, man. He can't be stopped. So 45-48 is the score, and the Steelers now are just going to go for the normal kick here because they're going to try and get the ball back, and Phillip Buchanan is going to field the kick, and don't tell me. Do not tell me. No, don't tell me. He finds the open running lane. He's got the caravan. It's Porter in pursuit, but he can't catch up to him. Buchanan, quit showboating and just run. Gosh dang it. Just run. But he gets into the end zone for another kickoff return, this time a 96-yarder. And that's like, what, his third or fourth this season? He has been an absolute menace of a kick returner. I don't know if we could ever replace that production for kick returner, man. We got like a Devin Hester out there. Who knew Philip Buchanan had this in him? Who knew it, man? But yeah, look at that. Perfect blocks, man. Just amazing blocking. Oh my gosh. You couldn't ask for better blocks on a kickoff, man. So Philip Buchanan gives us the boost here, puts us back within 10, and that essentially does it for the Steelers. But the Steelers still trying on offense, and Roethlisberger out of desperation, and he's going to give Phil Buchanan one more thing to rest on here in this game as he gets the game-sealing interception, picks off Hines Ward, and that's got to feel good after getting feasted on all day by Hines Ward, and he finally ends with the last laugh as the Raiders are going to win 55-45, and that should nail our first ticket, punch our first ticket to the postseason in this era here. I guess, I mean, we don't get to name the coach, but we're technically the GM/owner. So in whatever era, this era that we're in, we are going to make it to the postseason. Following the Chiefs' loss to the Titans, we finished 10-6. And remember, I was telling you guys all season long that given how top-loaded the AFC is during this time in the NFL, it's very possible that a 10 or even 11-win season wouldn't guarantee you the playoffs. So, fortunately, this year it did, but it was very possible that we finished 9-7 after an 8-2 start to the year, man. So, it would have been a brutal finish. Still not like the best. I still think there's a lot to clean up, but I know with how high-powered our offense is, we can definitely do some damage in the postseason. So, that's where we got to look. But a lot of great games to rely on. Tim Couch had a great game. Justin Fargas had an amazing game. Our top two receivers once again feasting here. Philip Buchanan, the MVP of this game, in my opinion. Janikowski nailed his 2 field goals. I mean, you love that, but here's the final look at the playoffs here. The Titans are your top seed, the Ravens and Chargers, and the Jets. The Jets are the other division seed. They're just listed below because they're 8-8, but they are the final division seed, and then us and the Broncos are your wild cards. So that is going to bring us into San Diego to play the Chargers for the third time this season, man. Third time's a charm. Can we manage to beat the Chargers for a third straight time and win our first playoff game, or will we go home packing very, very soon? It will all be revealed in the next Raiders video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in San Diego against the Chargers.